Hello, my name is Ange, and welcome to my first ever video where I take you through my largest hand-stitched embroidery piece using prompts from Peachtober. This piece for me is especially important because it was pushing my limits of what I could do even if it wasn't in the planned time frame that this art challenge was held. It instilled in me to finish what you start, even if it doesn't go according to plan. I think it's important to finish to see what it is you can create and embrace that. There were times where I was unsure of color choices and how some of the stitches were laying. I just kept going, didn't stop. There was doubt, but there was also inspired moments that had my wheels turning with possibilities. I knew I wanted to give Peachtober a try. This was my first time participating. Originally, I was going to use it as a way to get into a practice of daily sketching. I took a look at the prompts when released and said to myself, yes, this will be fun. I was at the very end of an embroidery piece I was working on, and I'm the type of person who can't start another art project until one is completed. I finished the project that Friday before. Now, this is right on track how I impulsively do most things. I started sketching the first piece and realized I wanted to keep embroidering, so I leaned into how I could do this. I decided to do a scene on a large 10-inch hoop because that was what I had on hand. I traced out the circle and started to see what I could fit into it. I knew I wouldn't be able to do all the prompts because it takes a long time to hand stitch things. I crafted my scene, and once started, it felt right. I started to look ahead at the prompt list and got hung up on the crocodile, which I have never attempted to draw before, and then Gilly was born. And it was her world and how she was creating these scenes and stories within these prompts. Ahead is a look at all my days in Peachtober over 5 months. Here I'm going through my reference photos and trying to sketch out a scene. On the left, I have my prompt list for all 31 days. I didn't do all of them, but I tried to fit as much as I could. These are the colors I picked out beforehand. No real plan with them. I just like the way they look together. Day 1 was Daisy. I drew lots of hills in my scene as it's fitting to my usual style, so it was easy to fit daisies here. Day 2 was Sparkle. I found this thread and knew immediately it would be for the sky. Day 3 was Paw, a continuation from Sparkle which inspired sunset colors. This portrait wall had me wondering whose burrow this belonged to. The added beads made for some fun texture, which is something I'm always trying to achieve. Day 6 was Sketch. Day 7 was Bud. This one I wasn't sure how it would turn out. I surprised myself. Day 8 was River. I tried to make this one real chonky. The color palette for day 9, which was Apricot. I used single strand for this whole piece, just trying to follow the direction of what I would think would work for an apricot. The little seed in the middle, isn't that so cute? Yep, apricot jam food cellar in the burrow. Day 10 is pixel. I went with a fish. I was asked if I used a pattern for this, but actually wasn't sure what people meant by this. I drew a few guidelines and filled in the space with different sized and spaced stitches. Another one where I was unsure about how it would turn out and pushed through without having a clue what I was doing. It came out cute, so I made it a dead fish, which I really enjoyed. This prompt I knew I needed to separate because I couldn't fit something small and pixelated into the scene. I really wanted to explore this one, so this is where I got carried away and started doing pieces alongside the main piece. The felt is much nicer to stitch on. The fabric I'm using on the main scene was thrifted, and it's a bit loose and hard to stitch on, but I managed. And this is where cute fish became dead fish. And I decided on all these separate pieces, and probably for the main piece that I wouldn't be putting a backing on it, so I just cut it down as close as I could get it. Day 12, Earth. I knew I wanted to stitch Earth on a map, but needed someone to hold it. I looked at the prompts and crocodile stood out to me, so I started drawing, and this is where Gilly was born. Next thing I know, I'm writing a little bit about her. I was shocked. Nothing like this had ever happened while creating before. Gilly wonders where she is. She contemplates if she should turn around and go home. No, she presses on. What is Gilly looking for? Day 13, Cape. Gilly forgot to pack a coat, so she heads to a village with a cozy cape shop. She puts one on and feels a bit taller. How magical. Day 14, Burrow. I use 3 different colors and switch between using single and double strands of embroidery floss to try to achieve dirt. Day 15, Lamp. Deep in the burrow, there is a flicker of light. Day 17, Slow. Why are worms so easy to get along with? Because they are always down to earth. Fast. Francis is storing acorns. Getting food downside is a quick business. Gilly sees something darting through the trees. It's a mouse collecting acorns. Gilly reaches out her hand. Hi, I'm Gilly, the mouse looks up. Hello, Gilly, I'm Francis. They chat about what brings the croc to this corner of the world. Francis invites Gilly to a party in a few days. Day 20. Rest. Who wouldn't want their cozy bed on a rainy day? Prompts greenhouse and village. Today is the day. Gilly brings a gift to the host of the party and new pal Francis. This is part of what Gilly was looking for aside from exploring what is out in the world, friendship and shared moments. Day 24. Radish. In the burrow, Frances is growing a radish. She didn't expect it to get so big. It's almost harvest time, so she is preparing a surprise roast for her friends. Frances has handwritten notes for an early evening fireside chat. She gazes out the window, grabs her wee scarf, and is off to the posting tree. Stone. Gilly was on a walk through town and she saw a message on the town's bulletin board that read, Meet me at the Standing Stone on Daisy Hill at midnight. Signed with a tiny muddy paw print. How very curious. Day 26. Backpack. After reading that mysterious message on the bulletin board, Gilly packs a backpack to head up to Daisy Hill. She makes sure to grab a flashlight for this midnight encounter. Gilly makes it up the hill with no issues. She looks around but doesn't see anyone. She thought someone would be here. Gilly looks to the sky. The stars are twinkling brilliantly. She had never seen so many before. Then she turns her gaze toward the town, so still and quiet. Gilly takes a deep breath and enjoys her view for a little while. As she starts to head down the mountain, she sees a folded up piece of parchment paper behind the standing stone. It's a map to somewhere in the forest. You seek adventure and wonder. Follow this path for another unusual, exciting destination. Good thing Gilly packed a bag. With a flash of a smile, the croc heads down the backside of the mountain, heading north towards her journey. Day 28. Pony. The map has led Gilly to a clearing in the forest, with a carousel at its center. She feels like a hatchling as she sits on the charming attraction ride. No more clues are hidden in this cute park, but Gilly is glad she took a chance on this adventure. My last prompt, Pearl. Here's a sped up clip of me working on the last section of this piece. The story has come to an end, and as I try to stretch this fabric in a hoop, I don't feel sad or done with embroidery that I have spent well over 100 hours creating, but proud of myself for seeing this through. I'm glad if you made it this far. Reflecting back on this piece, it was a lot of pushing through and working in small areas, unsure if my vision would come through. This is the first time working on a piece of art where a story emerged with characters. It was exciting and left me not wanting to put the needle down. Not sure if I'll do this again around the famous art challenge month that is October. But know for sure I want to keep creating and maybe come up with some items fun and useful to either spark someone to create or to have of their own. Until next time, see ya.